back to Stitch Files with Barudan America.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm Brandon.
I'm Sarah.
I am Bob.
And we have
Jamie.
with us.
And we don't know where she came from. She was walking down the street. And we just said, hey, you want to be on a podcast? And she said, sure.
Did you dress up for the podcast?
She did.
I did.
Did you really?
I did.
I clearly didn't.
Did you buy those whisk broom earrings just for this occasion?
Just for this occasion. I heard that you were missing yours, and I thought maybe I could console you if I wore something close to your heart.
Well, I am shocked that neither one of you girls, you gals, knew what a whisk broom was.
A whisk
Didn't know. A
broom?
Whisk.
Whisk.
You didn't know? I thought you were the one bringing it
away
up.
the dirt.
No, he
it was
brought it
me.
up. He asked me, did I take it? And I told him, yeah, I snuck in your truck in the middle of the night while you were sleeping and took your whisk broom. He goes, do you know what it is? No. So
Sarah,
clearly
I
took
said,
it.
Sarah, you know
Do you
what
know
a
what it is now?
whisk broom is?
Yeah, but have you only heard of it because Bob has, made this up?
No.
I didn't make it up.
My great-grandma
We felt like you did.
used to.
So it runs in your family, it's just
Yeah.
a family thing.
But okay, everybody pause and Google whisk broom and see what comes up.
W-I-S-K.
Yeah, like a whisk. It's a straw broom.
And it's always a small
That is
one.
not what he brought out.
Yes.
He brought out a little small broom that you buy from Walmart.
It's
Like
a
a little,
whisk.
with a little dustpan.
I sweep my truck out with it.
It's usually a tiny straw broom.
Straw.
Like if you,
Well, this is made out of...
straw.
It is...
This is string.
These are soft.
Because it's not your whisk broom.
Yeah, that wouldn't get
No,
the dirt
whisk
out of my
broom has to
truck.
have a little bit of stiffness to it so it can attack dust and dirt.
Attack it.
That's right. It's a commercial. Today's episode is brought to you by Whisk Brooms. Okay, so...
We got that out of the way.
yeah. Well, Jamie, you want to introduce yourself and kind of tell what your role is here at Barudan America Incorporated in the United States?
Besides driving me nuts.
That is my number one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Job.
besides that role.
So I am Jamie, and I am the admin here, and I deal with the shipping process and pretty much the order process from the middle to the end for the most part. So we're going to go over that today, so you get to see exactly what I do and what I can help with if you have questions after this.
Yeah, that's kind of the goal of today's episode, is to talk about the ordering process and what happens after you place your order, everything that takes place, and then the actual shipping of the machine and kind of details about that. So,
A step-by-step process.
yeah, more or less. So,
Because we do get asked this question.
yeah.
You know what?
Well, yeah,
how's
I don't
this
even know if
work?
people, maybe they, I mean, it happens quite a bit when somebody's machine is ready to be shipped. Like, they don't even really know kind of what the process is, what takes place. They're like, was it coming directly off the ocean to my house, or where does it go?
Now, I get a lot of people that once I send them that bill of lading, they're calling me, like, how do I get this off the truck?
Yeah.
What's the process? Like, what does it come in a wooden crate or a metal crate? They don't even know, like, what it comes about. And there's a lot of times that I feel like this would be very helpful.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
And
so are you saying this was a good idea that I had? Because this was my idea for the topic. Are you saying that? No, you wouldn't say that. You would
but I'll
say,
let you know.
What was my number one job?
Yeah,
So definitely not.
Definitely don't say that.
his,
No.
you were the second choice of this podcast. He had another idea for this week. So however that makes you feel, I want you to feel that 100%.
Actually, I actually believe that.
That's kind of true. Sorry, I forgot. John
He
didn't
didn't
make it.
I would have been totally fine with either one.
We've been talking about getting you on here. Yeah, so we finally made it happen.
Yeah, and she's only mere feet away.
We finally
Yes.
made it happen.
I
We
know,
went through
normally
the process of
I get to
making
sit
that
and
happen.
listen to the podcast in
You
the
don't
dark.
listen. You shut
at
the door and you complain because
I do shut
My
the door,
lights are out.
and then I just hang out in
She's like-
the office.
Are they doing another podcast? Gosh.
I can't see. My lights are out. I can't see my computer screen. My lights are out.
It's dark.
Yeah, we do have
It's
to
not
make
the
it.
computer screen. It's the keyboard.
Yeah. Yeah, you need a glowing keyboard. Like
Clearly.
No, you need a good
Oh,
memory. I could type with my eyes. Well, I have typing talents that is beyond mere mortals. But
Oh, wow.
you can't. You
now
can
I
type
feel
without
even
looking,
more
right?
special to be on here.
Yeah.
As long as I can find my.
See,
The right
thank you.
keys.
I
I
can't.
can't.
Do
I
you,
faked-
I feel so bad for you.
Yeah, I can type extremely fast, but I only do it with 2 fingers. And I faked my way completely through typing class in school. on a typewriter.
I did not. I failed it.
Do you
just
say on a
straight up.
typewriter?
Yeah, we use typewriters.
Yes.
I'm an old man.
They used to test you. They used to bring in these little miniature typewriter things, and you would have your book, and you would test every day, or not every day, but like once a week they bring them in, and you would test on your like speed and accuracy and all that stuff.
I
Did
did
you
that
take
on
that?
I did that on a computer.
No, that was
And I had
part
like
of
an
the
orange
thing.
skin that you would put over the keys so you couldn't see what they were.
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
I would have been in trouble.
It's called Mavis Beacon. It was
What was it called?
great. Mavis Beacon.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Mavis
Maybe
Beacon.
speaking.
Highly recommend. Anyone out there trying to get
Is
into
it
your
a person?
typing? Yeah, Mavis was a person.
Oh,
Yeah.
so really rest in peace.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. I've never
Yeah.
heard of her.
I would
Anyway.
have failed. I would have failed tremendously.
I'm not even going to, you have no idea. I use stone tablets. That's how I got started.
His was a chisel and
you had to
stone?
hammer
Yeah.
the chisel. No, we had manual.
You did keyboard.
Yeah, typewriters. Manual
That's what mine
typewriters.
was, too.
Yeah, no electric ones.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
My girl had a
wasn't that-
manual typewriter. It's pretty cool.
I mean, like, you used to, like, to use a computer or go play Oregon Trail, which is what we did in
Yeah.
computer class.
Yeah, I
It
did
was
that
one
too.
computer for the whole school.
Oh.
And, like, you had to, like, check your time in, and you only got, like, 30 minutes, and it was a green screen that didn't work half the time. It was horrible. That was a computer experience. Like,
So
I'd rather
now
be
when
outside.
we are like, hey, well, not you. You definitely took the computer skills and know how to do all the things with computers. When
Oh, I
I am
don't.
freaking out and I'm calling Thad, like, something's broken. I can't fix it. I don't know what it is. This is why. This is what we grew up with.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, you've
Green
come a long
screens.
way.
Thank you. Yeah.
Proud of you guys.
Yeah, this
And you,
office,
Bob.
if anything technological,
I'm proud of myself.
is that the word? I don't know. If anything technological happens that is wrong in this office, Jamie has to wait until I come in and be like, hey, the Wi-Fi's out or something. I'm like, I'm just going to unplug it and plug it back in until it works.
No, I can do
And
that.
that's
I can plug it in and unplug it.
Yeah.
That's
If
all I
If that
do.
doesn't work, then the next step is to call Thad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good old Thad. He needs to be on the podcast. He said he would, didn't he?
Oh, he's going to be here next week.
He is going to be here next week.
Oh, maybe we do get him on it.
Hey,
Yes.
he's going to be here. I am literally the last person to know
No,
anything.
you're second to last because it goes boop, 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 then you.
I just found out. You already knew.
Yeah, but then that makes you last.
Yeah.
That's what I literally just said.
Yeah, so I'm next to last.
Okay.
You're still last. It still makes you last.
I would have told you when I went to the airport to get him that he's coming.
Well, I know.
Yeah, he's going to be here. And maybe he'll be on the podcast.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Anywho, let's get into why we're here, other than to,
Talk about typing.
yeah. So we'll go through,
Let's go from a salesperson standpoint. When a customer calls you and you're talking to a customer about a machine, one thing we do, if a customer says I want to buy a machine, we qualify what size machine they need because they may know or they may not know what they need.
Yeah.
So one thing that I'm really proud about with all of our sales guys is we don't want to sell you a 4-head if a 1-head will do what you need.
correct.
Or if a 4-head, or if maybe a 6-head is better than a 4. So we always qualify you with the size of the machine, how many sewing heads in the sewing field. That's extremely important. How big of, if you're doing split front baseball jerseys, shirts, you
You don't want
you're
to
going to
Excel
rule out.
too.
You're going to rule out the XL2. So, but from your perspective, you start first. When a customer says, "All right, Brandon, I want to buy a machine," how does that work?
Well, I'd go through, okay, kind of what you just said, like what's the outcome? Like, is this your first machine? So from there, they decide on a machine. So we use something called QuoteWorks, which is, how would you describe that?
It's a quoting program.
Quoting program. Isn't there an official name for that?
Probably, but let's just call
Yeah,
it.
it's a
for all
quoting
intents and
program.
purposes, it's a quoting program.
Basically just puts an itemized list of your machine, the accessories that come with it. I typically will get Jamie to get a shipping quote for me. That way it kind of gets you an idea. Although in these days and age, that's probably going to be, might be a little different by the time it gets to you.
Yeah, we'll get into that
Yeah.
a little bit later.
But it kind of gets a ballpark idea of what the overall price is going to be, excluding your sales tax. Send that to the customer. They'll usually look over if they have any revisions. They'll send that back to me, or we'll talk on the phone. And then they would place their deposit, which we take 10% to get production on a machine started. And then I'd send it over to Jamie. So that's kind of the process.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything else you want to cover in that?
No, that's you do what you're supposed to be. All right, so you do what you're supposed to do.
You looked at me like,
He
Well-
expected so much more from me.
I did. I was thinking. I thought maybe you would like get into like what font you use to write the email.
Oh,
to
do you
them.
want to? I use the wingdings, which if you know anything about that on a key, it's just shapes and airplanes and things like that.
Okay, so once a customer accepts the proposal, they sign off on it.
Correct.
And that signed proposal gets sent to you and to Jamie.
Yeah.
Now, when Jamie gets it, and this is very important, just because you sign a proposal doesn't mean that we're going to reserve a machine for you. That will not put you on the stock list. We have something called a stock list that shows us every machine that's right now, we don't have any in stock, but it's every machine that's coming in and a date when it's supposed to get here, around about when it's supposed to get here. So in order for you to get on the stock list in line to get a machine, then we require a deposit. And normally we will ship on 10%. And what do we take, Jamie?
We take all cards, honestly. We take checks. We take wires. If you're working with a leasing company, we take POs. If you are not working with a leasing company and your company happens to have a PO, we do take your company PO as long as that is agreed upon. We will take the quote. You were talking about the difference between, I want to back up for a second, the difference between the signed and the deposit. I do put the quote in on our stock list, so sometimes you'll see your customer's name on that stock list as the sales rep, but it is just a quote. It's got a Q beside it.
Next to it.
It will stay there for 30 days, and then it will fall off.
I guess from my perspective, that doesn't mean anything to me.
No, but what I'm about to say will.
Okay.
It doesn't matter if I got that quote, let's say, today, and a month and a half from now I get a PO or a deposit. It doesn't matter that because I originally got that signed quote a month and a half ago, that you're going to bump above all these people. The day that I get that money is the day that you officially go on the stock list. You can't say, well, I signed the quote a while back. That doesn't do anything. It is just a 30-day quote at that point until we have a deposit, again, via card, PO, leasing company, wire, transfers, any of those things.
Which, that is important to point out because some people think, well, I signed this quote, and you may have talked to your sales rep and they say, oh, yeah, you're on the, if you get this in, your machine's going to be this date. Well, that date only is good whenever you get actual money for that, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, so by that time that you actually put a deposit down, get a PO, you could be miles down the stock list because, we get orders in every day and, it just gets bumped down the list.
Correct.
So, yeah, it's just to keep everybody happy and nobody mad.
Yes. So this way it is fair to everyone.
Yeah.
Money equals order. That's pretty much it.
You brought up
Money,
another
power,
point, too.
respect.
The quotes are good for 30 days. So after 30 days that they fall off the stock list. So if you haven't gotten us a deposit within 30 days, then you have to write another quote.
Correct.
So it's, we encourage people, if you really want to get a machine, you got to put money on it in order for it to be reserved in the queue. So that's how it works.
Yes.
Because we've had the old way. You remember the old way, the way it used to work. We had a different stock list. This thing would be full of quotes, and it would just tick me off when we had some guys that would just send in a bunch of quotes that would sit there and sit there and sit there.
And I would hold on to them for months and months, like for 3 months.
The reason I'm a stickler for it is because it lets me plan, it lets us plan what to order.
Yeah.
If we got a bunch of quotes just sitting there with no money on them, to me, that doesn't mean anything because those folks haven't committed.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to be mean about it. It's just the way that we have to do business.
Yeah, and even as a sales rep, I don't even like to send in a quote unless it has a deposit on it because it jumbles up visually for me what I see on that stock list.
Yeah.
So very rarely do I do that. This just personally because I have a very short attention span and easily distracted, so I need it as clear and concise. When I see a bunch of things that are different colors, don't work out.
So how do they get a credit card deposit to you if they're doing a credit card? How would that happen? Take us through that process.
So typically, let's say you call a sales rep and say, hey, I'm ready. I'd like to get this machine. Then they go through how would you like to pay? If you say, I'd like to pay by credit card, you do have a few options. The main option would be typically to go on, I guess, QuoteWorks, if that's an option to some, and do that. The other ones is they have a credit card sheet. This is important that you fill out every line on that sheet and that you really pay attention to what you're writing and that your 2-year-old doesn't write it for you, because I can't tell you how many cities I've made up because I just can't understand them. And then I have to call and say, what is this number? What is this city? It has to match up with that card. So let's say that you just got a new business and it's a new address, but your card is your old business and old address. You have to give me that old business and that old address because that is the zip code and that goes with that card. So it will get declined. They do get declined, sometimes just for security reasons, which is simple. At that point, I'll just call the sales rep and say, hey, the card was declined. Reach out to the customer. It's not a big deal. It's actually for your benefit, so that's good.
Yeah, it's just banks that'll put a limit on, it's a big purchase. So,
Right.
Yeah, you might be capped at $5,000, and, that deposit might be more than that, so it gets declined. So, yeah, not a big deal. Just Jamie will let us know, and we'll call and say, hey, get a hold of your bank.
Right. And there are a few people out there, I know that there's not a lot anymore, but there are a few people that just really do not want to put their information online. They don't want it scanned in to a computer and sent anywhere or taken a picture of or any of those things, at which point you can call me and give me that deposit over the phone. And those are pretty much your options as far as the card goes.
That's something else I want to mention, too. Let's talk a little bit about bill to, ship to. Sold to, bill to, ship to, because I know that's a... Am I going to make you mad?
No.
Don't hit me with your whisk broom earrings.
No. Okay, so this is actually very important for the sales reps to ask, and it's also very important for the customers to answer. There is, at the top of the order, there is the bill to, or there's the sold to, the ship to, and then the bill to. Sold to could be your mother company, whoever you partner with is buying this machine, or you're buying machine for one of your smaller companies. So you want to put whoever is actually on the phone getting this machine. And then for ship to is whoever is receiving this machine. So where the machine is physically getting it shipped to, unless it is a rigger. But where that machine is going to end up after that rigger or who it's for, that is the ship to. The bill to is, again, either the mother or the partner company or whoever is paying for this machine. So I have seen 3 different companies for those processes.
Yeah.
We ordered it, but we're ordering it for them, but so-and-so decided they're paying for it.
Right.
And that's completely fine. But if that's the case, it's important that you make that the case on the order, because come billing, when you finally get that invoice and you're looking at it and you're like, oh, well, you're charging me, but not them. Well, I have no way of knowing that unless you put it on the order, and your sales reps have no way of knowing that unless they physically ask or you physically tell them.
Yeah. The good, which, you mentioned the QuoteWorks. So I use this valet system that not everybody has access to. It makes you go in there and physically get to check to make sure you're billed to and shipped to.
Yes.
On the physical quote, you could just get it and sign it, send it back. So it's important to look at that stuff, make sure those addresses are correct. That's the nice thing about that valet system. It is kind of like a safe fail. Like, you have to physically go in there and put your initials in to check off that those things are correct, which you still couldn't read it and just put your initials in. But
yeah,
there is another thing that you just remind me of that on that system. It's just as important as the bill to and the ship to, being that it's basically like, what are we shipping to? Are we shipping to a commercial location, like a business, or are we shipping to a residence? This is where I get a lot of confusion. I understand that a lot of people are doing, especially now with COVID, it has been a thing, so a lot of people are handling their businesses in their homes. Completely fine, understandable, but it's still a residence. Even if you have a commercial building out back of your residential area that you are doing your business out of. It is still a residence. What happens is when I see that commercial and I put it in as a commercial and they deliver to a residence, then they charge like extra because we filed it wrong, so they have to do more paperwork and all this, and it ends up being like $300 extra that gets tacked onto that bill that then we have to explain to the customer why we're giving them $300 more to pay.
Yep.
So please make sure that is filled out on the order forms correctly, which we do have a shipping sheet we'll go over later, so that can be corrected at the end if not, but this would kind of help that go along.
Yeah, and if you say it's commercial and it's in the back of your house, even though it may be a commercial business, and they show up with a tractor trailer and they can't get up your driveway,
it's pretty much what's happening.
That's a lot of fun.
Then they can't deliver and they got to go back. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. So, so once you get the deposit and the machine gets to Solon, what's the next step? And Solon, Ohio is corporate. That's where the machines come into the country. Well, they don't come into the country. That's where they end up. That's our warehouse. That's where they're stored. What's the next step?
Okay, so orders in the system. Your card goes through. We're good. I also do send a machine confirmation to your sales rep to send to you so that you know your order is on that stock list and you have no more questions about wondering if it's there or not. Once it's in, I then reach out to the sales rep and I say, hey, this customer's machine is here. So that way they can reach out to you, get you a shipping sheet for you to fill out. Again, this is just a backup for me to make sure that we are not getting extra charges. That way you're not getting extra charges,
right?
Essentially. So once you give me that sheet, I type up a bill of lading. I give you that bill of lading via email. I copy your sales rep. I copy the tech admin. I copy Amy Tanner, who is also in charge of scheduling the techs. Mm-hmm. So everyone that is going to be touching your machine or being in, like, touching base with you for the rest of the process to the end is all in that email. There's also on the bottom big bold red letters that say do not accept damaged product or pallets or crates or whatever it may be. You have the right to refuse that. You don't have to have it delivered. If it shows up mangled, they're wooden crates. Now, some of the wooden crates are going to look a little funky because they've been sitting on the ocean for a while. And salt and wood and seawater don't go great. But you do not have to accept it. We can send somebody out to inspect it before getting it to you. If you choose to accept it, please take pictures of it on the truck, take pictures or film the process of it being taken off the truck, already damaged. It's very important that you write on the bill of lading that it is damaged. You have the driver sign that, and then you take a picture of that and you send it to me. Or you send it to your sales rep to send to me. Either way, it needs to get to me so that I know that I can take this to the freight company. And that's an internal thing that we don't have to get into, that I will deal with at that point.
Yeah. And
see about getting this machine uncrated or see about getting you another machine or however we decide to go about that at that point.
Yeah, because, like you said, it has happened. And now, stuff's taking longer to get here and stuff sits for a little while. That's never good.
Yeah, we've had some what we call ugly crates, which,
yeah.
They're a little wavy. They look, like a little water damaged or whatever. The inside, I think you already covered what the machine looks like inside the crates that they're.
Yeah, they have like a vapor
yeah.
barrier seal thing on them.
They're safe.
Pretty well.
They're good.
Yeah, pretty well contained.
They're in aluminum foil, like a Christmas turkey. Like I'm going to go put your turkey in the oven.
I can't.
And you cover it with aluminum
Nobody
foil.
does that.
Nobody
You've never
does.
cooked in your life. Shut up.
I watch people cook.
That's Rachel, right?
So the machine is safe essentially, and I understand it is cosmetic, but again, you are not forced to accept that delivery.
No,
and if you're not sure, pick up the phone right then. Tell that driver to hang on a second. Pick up the phone right then and call me.
Yeah.
And I'll be glad to get any pictures right then and there and tell you if you should take it or not.
And when we say crate damage, we say physical damage. We're talking about if it's got a big hole knocked in it.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
We're not talking about scuffs and scrapes, because you
Right.
got to keep in mind that this machine's probably, by the time it gets out of the container and put into our warehouse, put onto a truck, maybe it goes on 2 or 3 trucks
It does.
to a terminal, it's going to get beat up and scratched up. So
Yep.
Yes.
it's not that. It's if you see heavy damage to that crate where you think, man, the contents may be damaged, then that's when you need to get in touch with us or with Jamie.
Yes.
Not me. Don't bother me about it. I don't know what to do. No.
If
But
if everything is fine, then you have a tracking number. Everyone has a tracking number when you ship things. Mostly, we'll touch that base in a
That's
second.
not always the case.
But yes, most of these things will have tracking numbers for regular LTLs. And I do, again, when I send you that bill of lading, I explain that once the tracking number gets to me, which is typically overnight, if you respond back to that email and say, yes, I'd like that tracking number, the first thing I do every single morning is I sit down at that computer and I immediately start answering those flagged emails and get those tracking numbers, because it would have went in the system overnight or in the afternoon late, and I get them to you. You have to bear with some of the tracking. A lot of times you're going to see that they're sitting still for a few days. That's nothing that isn't happening all over the place, I guess you should say. Right now, it could take a few days to get to you. It could take a week. These terminals are getting just as backed up as the ports are, because like I tell most customers when they call and they're asking me why it's taking so many days, all these companies like us are getting all of their product at the same time like we are, and just like we are, we're all shoving it out the door as quickly as possible, because we've all got couches, or we've all got machines, or we've all got anything sitting out there that we're waiting on.
Boots.
So
16 days to get your boots.
Yeah, they sat in Charlotte for 5 days. I was like, I
So
can just
see?
go get them.
Right, and that's kind of how I feel. And I do have customers that say, well, can I just go to the dock and get it? And that is also a possibility. If you get tired of waiting, call me. If you see that's at the destination terminal and you have not received a phone call from the terminal, I always put a 24-hour notification. They're supposed to call you when it gets to that terminal. That way they set up a good day and time to schedule that delivery with you. If you see it sitting there, like in Charlotte for days, and you don't get the phone, you call it all, then call me and say, hey, can we pick it up? Yes, you can. I'll get in touch with the terminal. I'll make sure that I get the information from you, and we will get that done. So we will really try and do anything and everything we can to help you get it on a timely matter. We are just not in control of how long things sit on docks.
And I think that's important to say too. Like, we're not a shipping company. I think
Right.
some people do get upset with us. Like, we have any control over how freight happens, and that's not the case. I mean, you just communicate with them,
Yes.
arrange it.
Sometimes yell with them.
More times than not, yell.
I am, guys. I really am fighting for you guys out there. Like, if you can
Oh,
hear
I
me
will.
yelling in this office at these freight companies.
I heard you say a bad word one day.
I thought you were just about to say a bad word.
Yeah,
to be
I-
honest.
No.
We will have we ever used the bleep button?
I use it on myself.
Did you?
No, I would not do it
On
on
the
you.
podcast?
But I have plenty beeped in the office.
Yes.
Well, it's not beep. I
No,
have
we hear it. Yeah.
very sensitive Christian ears that I don't need to hear that, and it's like, I mean, I don't want to paint you in a bad light, but I mean, it is what it
I
is.
don't feel bad about it. Again, I'm fighting for our customers, so therefore I do not feel bad about it.
We
And
can all
it gets
attest to that.
done.
For sure.
Jamie makes that happen as
It
quickly
gets
as it
done.
can possibly happen.
She makes me feel bad. I think I have a pretty foul mouth, but man,
Well, I'll tell you, I was thinking about going into trucking, and I thought, well, maybe what if I ever haul a machine for Jamie? I don't want to be subjected to that kind of language. I mean, gee whiz.
if I was driving that truck and that was the phone call that I got, I'd just drive it off the road. All right, Jamie. Take a hard right.
Why didn't you call Jamie when your boots were missing? How do we call that?
Call Charlotte.
I wasn't even mad about it. I was just like, man, they're just like right there, like less than an hour. I could go get them. But I get it. I
Bottom
was
line,
like, dang
I
it.
get stuff done. There's an issue.
She
call
does.
me.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so where are we at?
You cussing out truck drivers. What's that thing to do?
Yes. Okay. So the other thing that's very important. As some of you know, if you've gone and seen some of our smaller machines, you have probably seen or passed a few pages through our larger machines. These machines are not machines that are going to be delivered with UPS or any of those things. So we have a company that we use, and they're really good with our machines. They don't damage them, so we don't have to worry about that. That's why we use them. But unfortunately, in saying that, they do not have terminals, and what this means is they do not have tracking numbers.
Yeah.
This can be super frustrating when you're waiting on, an extremely huge, expensive machine that's just out there somewhere and might take a week to get to you, and you have no clue how to schedule your life. And I completely understand that. I can get you the number to their dispatcher that gets in charge, and the phone calls go straight to that driver, and they are also supposed to call you within 48 hours of delivering so that you can get your rigger if you need to, or if it's going to a rigger, you don't have to worry about it. That rigger will call you when your machine hits them. But they will call that rigger and set that up with them too. So either way, you will get time. They are pretty good about calling. Sometimes they do not. Very important. Sometimes truckers, okay, let me rephrase. 90% of the times it feels like that truckers do not get there exactly at the time they say they're going to be there. Cannot help traffic or weather or any of those things. How long you got to wait in line for gas can't help. I mean, especially with diesel prices and people running out of diesel. So you really just can't help any of those things. If they give you a 3-hour window for a reason, that is so they can be there within that 3-hour window. If that 3-hour window has passed and you do not have a machine, call me. We'll get it there.
Yeah, most of our machines are shipped common carrier. So what that means is this truck driver has 20 boxes on there. Mm-hmm. One of them happens to be your embroidery machine. And you have to deliver these 20 boxes in one day.
Yes.
And, he has a schedule to follow. He's trying to get all these boxes off so he can go pick up more boxes. So in his defense, and he's doing his job, your box is not his highlight. It's not on his top of his list. He's just getting boxes delivered.
It's just another thing in the truck.
Exactly.
And you can say, well, that's common carrier. And it's the cheapest. I mean, do you want expedited freight? We could do expedited. What's it? Triple the cost of?
Oh my goodness! I couldn't even imagine what that cost would be.
I mean,
because it would have to be your machine on the truck
on that
by
particular
itself,
truck by itself,
nothing else. And if a regular, I'm looking at some single heads right now, just ballpark. Some single heads going to California are just blowing my mind price wise. If I had to double or triple that, I don't know. It'd almost be the same as the machine price, and I'd just be like, I can't
Just
do
go
that.
drive to Solo and pick it up yourself.
Right, exactly.
It's probably cheaper.
It probably would be.
For sure. Yeah.
You got a buddy with a truck? Let's go.
No, with fuel prices and everything else going on right now in the world, it's crazy what freight costs. I can't believe what freight costs.
Yeah.
Should I say it? I've been doing this a long time.
There it is.
I've never seen freight.
I never have a
cost
beverage when I need it.
I hear this every time.
Yeah.
No, I've been pretty good. I don't say it anymore because I get chastised for it.
It's not chastised. It's a game that we play.
Well, I'm not.
We always win.
I won't be part of your game.
You always
See,
are.
this time I warned you. I'm just going to say it.
Yeah. That's how people
kinda
get their
takes away something
people
for us.
get their whiskey shots ready.
Let's talk about the difference between shipping single heads and multi heads, because there's something called liftgate.
Yeah, multi-heads go on a liftgate, everybody.
No,
Don't do that.
I'm just kidding. Calm down.
Hey, you're going to get.
So much
You just triggered her so hard.
She's going to piss you off.
Oh, there's a lot of people that think that that's the
everything.
case. Like, we'll just put it on liftgate.
Right, they're
Oh,
just
it'll get to
waiting
the
for that
ground,
moment
believe me.
For us to say what goes on a lift gate, and they heard that and just shut
Yep.
off.
Oh, yeah. I might just broke the whole company.
Okay, so yes, the single heads go on a lift gate. The 2-head 380 can actually go.
The KT.
The KT can actually go on
Yeah.
a lift gate. So multi-head, the only one that can go on a lift gate is the KT.
That machine right there.
This is all that can go.
That beauty.
Yeah.
And that's stretching it.
I see what you did.
They're nice enough to let us. multi-heads will not go on a lift gate. They used to, and I know that they used to because when I first started here, my favorite line from all the sales reps were, "What do you mean they can't go on a, they used to go on a lift gate just fine. We've been doing it for years on a lift gate. I've been here for 30 years. We've been doing it." And I'm like,
They've been doing it a long time.
Great.
Like me.
For 30 years. But they're breaking the lift gates. Now, I don't know if that's, you know, wear and tear over everything, but whatever, they just told us that they're not doing it. As a matter of fact, when I go to put in a quote and I put a lift gate for a multi-head, it specifically stops the quote right then and there and says, will not happen. If it's over
Does not
1,000
compute.
pounds, will not go. So it is your responsibility to get that machine on the ground if it is, or on the dock if it is a multi-head machine. The truck driver's job is to bring it to you, and it's your job to get it off. There are some options. I know of the rollback tow truck is what I tell a lot of customers.
That's what I tell people. That's usually probably the cheapest and not the easiest. The rigger is definitely the easiest, but that's a cost.
Explain what a rigger is. I know what a rigger is, but
So
folks may
basically,
not.
they're going to do pretty much everything. They'll even most of them will get rid of your container for you.
No, they will get rid. They'll get rid of your.
Yeah, I didn't want to put everybody in that box. What if there's one rigger out there that doesn't get rid of it, and he's pissed at me because I said I just lumped everybody into. That's the problem with including everybody in everything.
I would be surprised if he wouldn't take that wood or something with it, though. You think he's going to deliver the machine and the wood?
Maybe. Yeah.
Well, we wouldn't use him anymore. If that happens, let me know.
But basically, they handle heavy machinery and equipment. That's kind of their job. They use.
They are licensed and bonded. Here's the thing, and we have seen this happen time after time. You can uncrate a multi-head without a forklift. There's a trick to it. I've done it. I don't like doing it. It makes me nervous, but you can do it, and we've got a video on it, right? You cut the crate out from under the machine, use a jack to pick it up,
Pull that
right, and
side out.
pull one side of it out. We have probably had half a dozen, 6 or 7 that have fallen over because the customer wasn't quite sure what to do. They've fallen over. So let's just say you just bought an 8-head and you got a $75,000 machine and you jack it up and you're cutting the crate out from under and it falls over. Well, I hope you have good insurance because you're going to need it. What a rigger does, if Jamie ships it to a rigger, they have forklifts, they have tools to uncrate the machine, they'll put the wheels on it for you, and they'll deliver it. Now, there is a price for this. You pay for it. But if you're not comfortable uncrating your machine and getting it into your building, or maybe you don't have a dock, and maybe you don't want to use a lift gate or a rollback.
Don't use a lift gate.
No, don't use a lift gate.
You can't use a lift gate.
By the end of this, we'll be using a lift gate.
We've reinstated the lift gate.
And this is what I deal with.
Hello, Jamie. I heard y'all were doing lift gates again.
I can't.
Yeah, I'm getting a 12-head. You're saying I can use a lift gate?
No.
But if you're not comfortable, if you've never done this, it might be a good idea to hire a rigger. And wherever you live, ask your sales rep. All you guys have you have a list of.
I call it a
riggers
database, but call it
that
what you
use.
want.
Okay, I call it a list.
No, it's just like there's like 3 or 4 companies in each state that,
I also have a list.
There's a list, yeah.
I have a list in each state. So I think, is that the one you're talking about that I gave you? Okay, so yeah. But I mean,
some customers
Google has 1,000.
Yeah, and some customers
So-
even recommended riggers to me that they've used that they like, and
Yeah.
I'll just pass that on. Because, it's the most hands-off, easiest option is what I tell people. You don't have to deal with anything.
If they drop it, they are licensed and
Yeah.
bonded. They would have
That's
to
what
buy.
that
They would
means.
have to pay
Yeah.
for that machine.
Yep.
Which is your best bet.
Yeah.
So, that's important. So, single head minus just the K2 lift gate. Also, with single heads only, again, I will beat you.
I'm not going to say anything.
Multi-heads do not get this white glove. That is an option. And it is that, however, is definitely not an option.
That's a proctologist.
Not okay.
That's what I saw at my last prostate exam.
Put my water down. So, white glove is that I cannot. I'm trying to be serious.
That would be a clear glove or a blue glove.
I can't.
White, okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
This is why it takes so long. Okay. So, white glove is simply if you get a single head and you want it brought in the house or brought into your company. We do have some companies that just honestly don't trust their employees or themselves to uncrate these machines and then set them up properly for training, and that's completely understandable. But what can happen at that point is I can look into a service, which you, again, will pay for, but sometimes they're not bad. Sometimes they're atrocious, but they're going to bring it in, they're going to uncrate it, they're going to take the crate away with them, so you don't have to worry about disposing anything. Very important things, though, that they cannot do. They are not insured to put our machines together. So they will take it out of the crate, and they will put the cart, they can assemble the cart if they choose to, but we tell them, please don't, because they are not insured to touch our machines, and we don't want to be liable for something that they do wrong that hurts the machine or hurts the cart or anything. So they're going to uncrate it, they're going to bring it in, they're going to set it down, and they're going to take all the debris away.
Do they wear white gloves? Do we know that?
I do not know what they
really
wear.
hope
I
they
do
do.
know that this is still
That would be awesome.
this
if
is
they
still
wore
a
white gloves.
50-50 chance of finding someone that's going to do it. Since COVID, they shut that down completely.
Yeah.
No one was going in people's houses or into even commercial buildings at this point, so it was pretty much a no-go. I have found twice now a company willing to do it, but that's only 2 different companies out of numerous that I've asked, and they just in different states that it's more prevalent still right now. They are just not doing it.
Shout out
So
to all the
really
white
just-
glove people out there.
I cannot.
Shout out. Shout
They
out
look
white
so
glove.
fancy.
Shout out to O.J. Simpson.
Mickey Mouse wears white gloves.
He had a black glove.
No, he wore white ones.
O.J. Simpson.
He said O.J. Simpson.
Oh. Michael Jackson wore one. He wore one white glove, right?
I think he wore a black glove.
He wore just
He wore
He
white glove.
definitely wore a white glove. But
Yeah,
I think he
Michael
had
Jackson.
both.
Michael Jackson. Did
He
he wear?
had both.
I
Even
think I
had
had
the
one with
glove the
glitter on
fingers.
it.
Yes, it was silver
Like
glitter.
a black one with like glitter, sparkles, diamonds.
Wow.
Probably sequins. But
Rest in peace, Michael Jackson.
oh my, that's
I miss
2
him.
today. How many people were we killing today?
I didn't kill anybody. This is the second time it's got brought up.
3 rest in peace today.
There's only one murderer at this table, and we don't know who she is. I mean, who they are.
All right, we're moving on.
Yes, please.
We talked about multi-heads and the
Yeah, it's your
rollback.
responsibility to get
Yeah.
it on the ground. Again, you can call and ask
Yeah,
your sales rep.
yeah, we're here to
me,
help
whoever.
you find somebody.
Everybody needs somebody.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
And it is also on the your job part. It is also, this is the next thing that's coming up. Anyways, it is your responsibility to have the machine uncrated, put together, and threaded before your tech gets there. Now remember, I've sent the bill of lading, and when I did, I copied the people that scheduled the tech. So they should be reaching out to you to schedule that tech. So while that's happening, it's your responsibility to make sure that you have everything ready for them to get there.
Well done. That's true. That's how it works.
Words of affirmation
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
Bob and Stone.
You're learning. You're learning.
It didn't even take 30 years.
When we say put it together, though, we just mean they're shipped without the thread stand on them, and it's simple to put the thread stand on. If it's not threaded when the tech gets there, then it's going to take him time to.
Yeah,
thread
that's
it,
time
and that's gonna
taken
cut
away
into
from
your
your install.
installation and training. So,
Oh,
Do you have a thought?
no, I really did, because this is something that I get. I,
Oh, you
I
had a thought. You had a
constantly
thought.
get. I did. It's crazy.
Is the
I know it
first one for
happens once a
today?
day.
So much shade.
It's just, I have to agree. Sometimes
Okay.
elbow him. He's so close.
You could knock him straight out if you want to make for great content on the YouTube.
And we go viral. I wouldn't have a job, but I wouldn't need it because I get royalties from the viral. Anyways, cat frames.
Mm-hmm.
This is important because a lot of people are getting their machines, and then they're like multi-heads, especially, well, essentially just the multi-heads. They get the machines, and then they say, well, I don't have all my cat frames.
Oh, yeah.
And then they're calling and they're freaking out. So what we are doing is putting 2 cat frames, or we were doing the 2 cat frames in the machine and then shipping the rest via UPS, FedEx, or however we were getting it to you. This way the techs could get there and still train you, and you weren't waiting on cat frames to get to you. I do know that that's kind of changed a little. I think most of the time they just UPS or FedEx all the cat frames. I'd like to go back to doing it the other way. But I know that customers, when they get it, they do email me, or they do email their sales reps freaking out because they don't have the cat frames. And then the sales reps ask me, and then I say this over and over and over and over again. So this is the process.
Well, the cat frames do not come shipped with the machines
No.
from Japan.
Right.
So
Not at all.
in case you didn't know, the cat frames are made here, just actually right down the road,
Yes.
close to your house.
Actually, 3 minutes from my
To
house.
your house, yeah.
You say
And,
Railman?
Railman, where gas is
Is it double
$4.99 a
cross?
gallon.
Sure it is. Whatever, Railman.
But anyway, they make our cat frames for us. They're shipped to Solon. They ship out of Solon, but to get them into the multi-head machines is really, really tough. You'd have to open the top
Yeah.
of the crate, put them in there, and like you said, they were putting a couple of them in there.
Well, they were on the 6 heads. Found that was easier. So the 6 heads, they come in a wooden crate, so they were popping it open and then putting it in there. The 8 heads,
8-head
they
stretch is a
right
steel crate.
They were able to do it with the 8 narrow. They were
Narrow,
able to
yeah.
get it in there, but the 8 stretch will come with a skid anyways,
Yeah.
and your cat frames will be on that skid.
Yeah.
If you don't have a skid, then call me. We'll figure that out.
That should
But
be,
you
on,
should
that
have
should
a
be on your
skid.
bill of lading, though. Machine
It'll
and
be
skid.
right, and it goes with the machine with
Yeah.
that company that goes straight to you. It delivers. The same truck that picks it up is the same truck that delivers it, so we don't have to worry about that skid getting lost. Typically, that's not a thing. But yeah, so that's the whole cat frame things. If you do not have your cat frames when you get your machine, it's in the mail. You'll get it.
Checks in the mail.
The cat frame's in the mail.
Cat frames in the mail.
Okay.
I can get you a tracking number for the cat frames too.
All right, that makes sense.
Clear as day. All right.
I think I learned something.
Yeah.
I got some learning. You did some learning for me.
Oh, good.
You did a good job, Jamie. Very
You
good.
did.
Very
Yeah.
thorough. You sound like you know what you're doing.
I
Unlike some
She
of
sounds
us.
like it.
sound
She
like it.
knows what she's doing.
Are we going to do this one?
Oh, the
Yes, the techs.
technician.
Yeah, we need to go over. I mean, folks, they get their machine. They're excited to get it. They
So
get it
excited.
uncrated. They get it all set up, and they want to know when's their tech coming. Amy Tanner in Cleveland will be giving you a call to schedule when the tech will come out and install and train you on your machine. So that's handled by her or Tracy. Tracy's doing it too,
Yeah,
right?
she does.
I don't know that she's
I
scheduled. I think.
don't know.
Yeah, I think she does less scheduling. I think she,
She
does
does less
more
scheduling.
tech work.
Okay.
She does tech work.
Okay. Then
So
Amy-
Amy's your
gal.
gal. Just like whatever they say.
Now, Brandon,
Amy is
you're
your
in
go-to.
touch with your
No,
techs,
not
right?
anymore.
You're not.
No. We've severed our relationship.
John. Do they know?
John, I'm talking to you.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, the ones that I've known for the last several years, yeah. But I try to stay in my lane, but I tell Amy too, like, if I can make this easier for you, I'm more than happy to let the techs know, and I do that when possible. So, yeah, sometimes it's me.
But sometimes, again, just like the terminals, we're shipping all this product out as soon as we get it to everyone.
Yeah.
So you're not the only person in New York waiting for a machine. You're not the only person in North Carolina waiting on a machine, but there might only be one tech in that area. So, unfortunately,
Yeah, and the
it is
strange
not
thing
going
is,
to be
too-
right away. You might have to wait a week or two before that tech can even get to you.
Yeah, when the machines come in now, they come in containers from Japan. They've made a long journey, a long trek. They're tired. We get them out of the crate. We, give them some water and maybe something to eat. I'm just kidding.
Really?
Now, how many machines? I mean, when they come in the door, they go right back out the door. In some instances, it's the same day or the next day.
It really is. It's people are just, where's my machine? Where's my machine? And so as soon as they hit, I'm sending out those emails to the sales reps, and a lot of times we'll get them in on Wednesday. I'll tell the guys on Wednesday, and Thursday morning I walk in and I've got shipping sheets everywhere, and I'm like, okay, well, these and these and these, the first few that got to me will be able to go out the door today or Friday, and then the rest of these will have to wait until the following day. I would love to be able to push off 50 machines. If we got 50 machines, and I would love to be able to push them all out the door, but that's just not possible. We don't have that many hands on deck to make that happen. There's not enough room on the trucks that pick up to make that even happen. So the turnaround is very quick. They are very in and out for the most part. Sometimes we do have our stagger just because we're quite unsure, or the customer
not ready.
is getting, that, or sometimes they go, you know what, we thought we had this under control, but it turns out we actually need to look into a rigger. Can we get a few days or whatever? Yeah. In that case, yes. But if you're like, I'm not going to be ready for a month, I'm going to give it to the next person. You're going to have to get the next shipment that comes in, because everyone is waiting at this point, and we're just trying to make everyone happy. So at that point, that's what we do. We do our best.
Yeah, and it's been, business has been unusual the past year and a half with all the delays, getting machines in, getting technicians scheduled out there in a timely manner. Just like what Jamie said, we're doing the best we can do. Please be patient with us. I know you're anxious, when you get your machine, but there's not going to be a tech show up on your doorstep the next day. It just doesn't work that way. We apologize. And we have quite a few techs, and we've even added some more techs, but the way that these machines come in, they all come in a big gob, and they go out the door. And then you got to keep in mind that techs were doing other installs and other tech working on older machines. So sometimes it gets a little hectic.
Sometimes they have to prioritize too. Like if somebody's machine, like an existing if an existing customer's machine's down, that gets prioritized over an install.
Yeah.
So they're juggling stuff too. So just be patient with them. And
they do our warranty work as well, right? So it could already be.
Yeah, I mean.
So they got a few things going on.
Yeah. So we try to get it as quick as possible, and I like to tell people ahead of time. I kind of look at the stock list. If I know stuff's coming in, I'll let the guys know, hey, this stuff's coming. Kind of give them a heads up. So.
Yes.
All right. Anything else, Jamie, you want to talk about?
I don't have any more ideas.
You don't have any ideas?
No more thoughts. I think
Are you done thinking for today? What time is it?
Get off this.
It's 4:05. She's done thinking for today.
She's done.
So I think that is everything.
She had her chicken nuggets since nap time.
Those weren't chicken nuggets.
They were chicken nuggets. They just weren't breaded and deep fried.
That's not a
they
nugget.
were just like
a nugget.
Just the chicken breast cut into like a little square. It was just a little nugget.
It was chicken pieces.
That's a nugget.
It's a nugget.
No.
Would you rather
a morsel? Chicken morsel?
When he gets the old person home, I'm gonna bring him some nuggets.
If you order chicken nuggets, well, you don't eat chicken. Let's pretend.
They have plant-based chicken.
Yeah, they do. They're really good,
and they are very good. By the way,
and you ordered it from Uber Eats or whomever you order from.
Okay.
I'm so surprised that he knew that was a
well,
thing.
it's
From the
because
man who doesn't go to the store.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
He doesn't go to the store.
No, but I'm living in this century. I know what's going on.
You sound like you do.
And
He types with all of his fingers.
Did you see what she was eating?
No.
Okay,
I did.
then you should see what. But you're not going to understand this. Maybe you will. And they'd come to your door and delivered what she just ate that was called chicken. I don't think you would accept it. I wouldn't. I would say
literally a chicken breast that's cut into a square.
No, it's chicken pieces. If I would have ordered
Chicken pieces.
and that showed up, I'd be like, yeah, that's kind of what I ordered. But if I'd ordered chicken nuggets and that showed up, no, I'd be getting my money back.
Well, they were good, and I was proud of them. They did a great job. I'm good.
Yeah, I like.
It was healthier.
Will you give me a bite of one next time?
I'm not going to order.
No, not after all that.
And you know what? I know where they are. They're in the refrigerator. I'll cook them myself.
Don't start stealing
I don't
people's
think
lunch.
they're-
I had somebody at a job do that to me, and I literally almost got fired from a job from about beating the brakes off
I
this
steal
guy.
Sarah's food all the time.
Do you?
Oh, wait a minute.
I do remember you saying, if it's
You
out,
do
it's
take
free
mine, though,
game. I was like,
sometimes.
what?
You, listen, you had that trail
Huge,
mix,
yeah.
and I was like chomping on that every day. I'm like, she's in the bathroom. And you know what I would even notice the way that the label was turned, and I would put it back exactly.
Shiesty.
Because there's some people that would be like, hey,
A little reckless.
yeah. And I would make sure there's no crumbs. I would get a napkin.
You were sketchy.
No.
That's what I
told you.
I'm gonna have to
see,
lock
look, he
my-
does that to you, but he
I
just
told you.
straight up comes into my room and goes, "What are you eating?" and he'll just take a bite of it.
I just started offering them now.
Okay, great.
I
Well,
try to
the-
get ahead of it.
She
The
came
man
in-
lives
she
off
came
of
in-
sourdough pretzels that are.
That's true.
don't-
You got
don't-
to. He's
don't talk
probably
about my
starving. That's what it is.
No, she comes in my office yesterday, the day before, and has a
said-
big bag of almonds.
And
You
she
know, I
offered them
love
to
almonds.
everybody.
Because I knew you were going to steal them.
And she goes, and I'm like, I pointed to my desk, and she pours it out on my desk.
Next to he pointed to his mouth. Just pour them directly in the vessel.
I was on the phone. I couldn't talk to her. And she offered, and of course I'm going to accept almonds.
Who doesn't?
Who wouldn't?
You cannot not. You like almonds?
I had some. I had like a normal person. I just had her put a little bit in my hand.
Brandon, you weren't here. I would have offered
I
you
did.
some.
I know.
You
I
weren't
know
here.
that you
I
would.
love
Believe me,
almonds.
I know.
And you know that I love nuts because don't leave your nuts out because I should have told you that. I should have told you that.
I'm not going
I'm
to.
done.
Because I had a
I'm
bag of
done.
mixed nuts when I first started working here.
Oh, I did. I stole your nuts.
He
didn't I?
would
I
legit
did.
be like, I'd come in and he'd be like, I ate your nuts. I'm like, great. I'm
sorry.
honest about it. I didn't see a replacement
I'm sorry.
nut thing yet. just, I ate them.
Well,
You're
did he
welcome.
pick? Did he pick through them and just get the ones that he
Yes,
liked?
I did.
See, that's
I'm
messed up.
He had
I did.
1,000
I did.
cashews left. He got all the good ones.
Yeah.
Got the
I
Brazil,
did.
ate the Brazil nuts.
But that mix that your friend made, that stuff was I would kill over that.
There's
That
so
stuff's
much murder
delicious.
on
What's
this
happening
show.
on this?
No.
Like the murder. I think it's because I'm here and y'all know how much I love.
They
murder
talked about.
shows,
They were
murder
talking about
shows,
last
and cold
time, like I was
cases.
a murderer, like I killed people.
Oh, it's all in fun.
Yeah, it's always fun.
But
It's not.
yeah, you hide your. Well, I wouldn't eat your food. Your food all comes in a package. I wouldn't eat that stuff anyway.
Those brownies smell good, though.
By the
Oh,
way,
you know
they
what?
are good.
That's true. He gave me a bite of his.
I
brownie.
almost cussed about
That
those
was-
brownies just now. We need to go. I'm just hungry. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks
I'm
for checking
I'm a
us.
food thief. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Lock up your lunches, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for checking out the podcast. Episodes will be available whenever they're available, wherever you get your podcasts. So thanks for tuning in. See you later. Adios.
Bye.